Okay, another day, another deadlift day. It's Thursday again, and yeah, we're deadlifting today again. I just jumped to Lidl to get some food. I mean, I ate breakfast. I had a good breakfast. Bread, tuna, protein milk. It's literally just normal milk, just has double the protein, so why not get it? But I always stop at the store. I always stop at Lidl to get some carbs to fuel me extra for my sessions, especially when I have squats and deadlifts. And I always get an oat smoothie, but they were out of it, so I got this one. I already tried it. It's okay, but the oat smoothie is just so much better. And I always get a croissant, chocolate, of course. I love it now when I'm not bulking. And today I even got a coffee because I feel like I need a little bit of more energy today. So I got myself a coffee. It's a high protein coffee. It does have 8 grams of protein per 100 milliliters, and it's 250. So a coffee with 20 grams of protein, quite nice. And I also got myself a drink for right after the gym session. I usually get a drink, liquid protein calories to drink right after my session, so I can start muscle protein synthesis right after I'm finished working out. And then I make my meal like an hour later, hour and a half later, because I always have something extra to do after the gym and I never have time for food. So that's kind of a way of starting muscle protein synthesis and getting those proteins in, so my body doesn't feel like it wants to kill itself. And then I just make dinner like an hour and a half later and I'm good. That's like my fueling strategy and a way that I like to eat. I enjoy it. I usually don't eat as much for breakfast and lunch because I always have a big dinner, because I always have a dinner like an hour to 2 hours after the gym. Well, I say dinner depending on the time of day, but usually around 6, 5. And then I eat something again at like 8:30 to 9 because I go to sleep at like midnight, so I need more food. But yeah, today is deadlift day. I'm gonna eat this and start my car, and I'll see you guys at the gym. What I like to do before my squats and deadlifts is having a movement prep, which basically means the weak points you have in your compound lift, you warm up. In my case, I find that my squats and deadlifts performance is much better when I actually open up my hips and activate my lats. Okay, my warm-up is done. I did my movement prep, and as I said earlier, I think movement prep is very important for compound lifting, like squats, deadlifts, bench, and even when you go into calisthenics, when you do muscle ups, pull-ups, dips, you want to warm up all of those muscles and prepare them for heavy lifts. That's how you stay injury-free while actually doing these hard, heavy compounds. And the plan for today, I spared you the warm-up. I just did my usual stiff-legged with just the bar, and then a couple pulls with 60 kilos, 100 kilos, and 140. Right now, I have 165 loaded up for the opening top set. For the opening set of the single. Then we're gonna go for 175. And after that, we're going for 185 this week. 5 kilos increase every week. And the back ups last week were 125, so they're gonna be 130 today. Okay. Yeah, let's get into it. Again, no chalk. Okay, that moved very quickly. Off the floor was hard. Hard. How I know that my technique is okay and I'm not risking injury on these pulls is because I do have a rounded upper back on my left, on my deadlift, and that's just how I'm used to deadlifting, and it's my leverage, bro. That's how I pull more, and it's not risking injury because you're tight. If you know what you're doing, it's okay. As long as your lower part of your back doesn't start rounding, you're good. But that felt very good. I feel like I could rep that for like 5, honestly. I'd call it like an RP6 because the lockout was very easy and not hard to pull. So we're good on that. We still got like what 3 more minutes of rest before the next set. We're pulling 175 next, and then I'm going for 185, and we're sticking to the plan. Like my brain right now is saying, "Yo, like we have carbs, we have enough hydration, we have coffee in the system. We can pull no more." I could probably pull a PR today, but this is where you need to actually think and stop yourself, because if you have a plan, you need to actually stick to it and not just go by feel in the gym. Like if you feel like you're gonna be able to do a PR today, cool, don't do it, because then, well, for me it's 12 weeks, but however many weeks you have left until the end of your program, do it then, because you're gonna be so much more impressed by yourself. Pulling, if I went for like 210 today and I pulled it, it would fatigue me way too much, so that next week I wouldn't be able to progress as planned. You always need to look at gym, at fitness, and powerlifting teaches you this. Actually, training in the powerlifting style, that you need to look at shit long term, longevity. Like this is the reason we're all in the fitness world. Like health benefits, you live longer, your bones are stronger, you can actually move when you're old. That's the goal. Not fucking up your body right now for short wins. Mm, I didn't write out my warm up here, so I'm writing it out right now. But yeah, that's my 2 cents in it. Um, Everything in me is saying, yo, if you can pull a 210 today, do it. But I have learned, I've done this mistake in the past. That's why I know it's not a good idea to do it. And I'm just going to stick to the plan and actually respect my body, not listen to what my ego is trying to tell me. So you're always in that constant battle with your ego and trying to tell it like, no, not the time, not the time. Wait and see what I'm actually capable of. Let's go do this lift. Okay, 175. Moved okay. It was harder off the ground, of course, it's more weight than the last single, but the main problem was the grip, not holding up too much. I mean, I'm gonna use chalk on the next lift, definitely. But from here on out, we're getting to heavier weight territory. So, opener next week, I'm gonna do just the opener without the chalk, and then I'm doing all three with chalk all the time because we're gonna get up to close to 200 kilos, and I can't let grip be the reason I fail my top set. But weight-wise and how heavy that was to pull, I could do three reps of that, maybe four. Let's say RP is 7.5 on that one. It was not that much, that close to max effort. We have 3 minutes left. It's funny because I don't think I've ever loaded up 185 before. I've loaded up 175, and then my next PR was 190. So 4 plates, of course, but I don't think I ever loaded up 185, and it's very funny to me because there's just 4 big plates on each side of 20 kilos, and then a small 2.5 kilo plate on each side. And it's that. I mean, that's how progression actually looks like. Slowly putting on weight, not ranking up 10 kilos every week. And this is 5 kilos, just 2.5 on each side. When we get, I think when I'm at the point that I get to 220, 230 PR, I think we're gonna do it slower and start adding 2.5 kilos, 1.25 on each side. And that's how progression is gonna look like. It's gonna look like a lot slower, but long term, I'm gonna be able to lift more because my body is not gonna be as fatigued as it would be if I actually added those 2.5 extra kilos on there. So have backups. That's the funny thing. This is the top set, then I need to do backup sets. Today I'm feeling well, like I'm in an okay mood. I was in a good mood, like I'm not extra hyper, but I just have a shit ton of work to do today. I already edited one video for somebody today. I still gotta edit the video for me. I have this workout to do. And need to do some social media shit today. And I also need to study for an interview tomorrow. It's like an extra interview you need to have in our country for personal trainers, and then you have your license for life. But it's annoying to have, but we're gonna do it. Like, it's easy peasy. I know my shit. I know that I know my shit, and I'm ready. I just need to repeat some stuff tonight, and that's it. I'm good to go tomorrow. So, enough of that. Time to do the top sync. That one's done. Not that. That was a hard single. You could probably see it. The lockout was not a problem as much as the pushing thing off the ground, which is surprising. The limiting factor used to be the lockout. So I guess that weak link is fixed now. But RP on that, 8.5. I'd definitely say it was an 8.5. I already got the weight ready for the backup sets. And we're gonna do a 3x3 again. with 130 kilos this week, 5 kilos up from last week. Because last week was RP was very low, so need to get the RP a bit higher. But again, like that sweet spot is if the sets go like 6.5, 7, 7.5. That's like the best possible RP movement that I could get from my back off sets. Yeah, so that was an RP of 6.5. Hoping to have about the same slash 7 on the next one. Probably gonna go up because today I feel way more fatigued. Pause deficit deadlifts, bro. I'm liking them a lot. It's a really nice way to add volume to your deadlift and more practice with technique. I'm here for 45 minutes, by the way. We got 10 minutes to finish up. And then we're going into our accessories. Hammy curls, prone and seated, as well as 2 ab exercises. And tomorrow's upper, I'm bringing back pull-ups. I'm gonna do pull-ups and dips tomorrow with body weight to test my shoulder and see if I can actually do them. Hoping for the best. That one was hard. Orion? Yeah, in the moment, I could pull more. How many more is the question? That was definitely at least a 7. But I'm debating if it was a 7.5 RP. I'm gonna put 7.5 in. To not undershoot it. Second, so how I'm thinking about RP is if I'm stuck between a number, 4.5, I'd rather put in the higher one because that means me next week is not gonna remember what today's pull felt like. But me putting in 7.5 now means that me 1 week from now is gonna look at the page and be like, okay, so, and went up fast from 6.5 to 7.5 instead of 6.5 to 7. So that means that let's not go for 135 today. Let's go for 132.5. Right? That's my way of thinking. So make sure to keep that ego in check by looking forward, looking long term, as I was talking before. You always need to think long term and put yourself in a headspace of what's future me gonna think about the info I put in right now. And me always overshooting is gonna make me future me put up less weight, and that means I'm gonna be less fatigued. I'll be able to do more the week after, and I'm gonna be able to progress more instead of doing too much every single week after week after week, and then needing to do a deload. This way, you don't really need to do a deload because you're making sure that your ego stays in check and you lift using data. You don't lift by ego. You lift always by the data you have on hand on past workouts. Okay. Quick thoughts while I'm Iraqi. I am definitely out of breath a bit, but because when I do my back offs, my rest time is a lot shorter. I go more by feel than my minutes, and it's usually 2 minutes. That last set, however, did not feel like an RPA though. That was better than set 2 of the back offs. So that means that we'll see next week, but I'm gonna put on 7.5. Because that lift last set on back offs was not 8 plus, not even close. So last one was probably a 7. Well, 7.5 because this one was easier. And my body just got neurologically ready to do the last set. And my rest time was also shorter, between 1 and 2, definitely. That also affects everything. For some reason, there's no 14 kilo kettlebell. It only goes up with 2 kilos, but there's no 14 kilo kettlebells anywhere. So I need to go get dumbbells to do this. Because, as I said in last video, this is slow ramp up. 2 kilos every single week until we get back up to 20 kilos, where I was on before I stopped doing this exercise. And then the progression changes. So we have 3 more weeks, then we're back up to 20. And it's rep progression. Getting that 3 sets of 12, and then moving on to the next weight with 3 sets of 8. So, gym finished. Time for the protein drink, of course. It's nice because it's stracciatella. Like, I like this. It's a good drink. Lift went okay. Deadlift was good. Next week we can definitely go for 190. That one's gonna be epic. And I didn't record my last seated curl because I just wanted to get out of there quick because I have somewhere to be in half an hour. But I couldn't find the ab roller anywhere, and I just didn't do it. When I want to do ab rollouts, I can't find the shit anywhere. I actually went across the whole gym and it wasn't anywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm guessing somebody either stole it or it's extremely misplaced because I checked everywhere. But yeah, that's it for today's session. Definitely not a quick one, but yeah, I gotta go now. Drive, drink this, and I still have a little bit of coffee left. And I'll see you all next video. Goodbye.